The alt market continues to bleed. So today we are going to take a look at some crypto conspiracies on another regular episode installment of this awesomeness. We've got another tinfoil hat addition to our crew, and we would like to point out that that's not a yarmulke. That's just because there was a lack of foil to continue. So he did the best he could with what he had. Though we do.
So what you're saying is
Jewish
he
friends.
wouldn't have been wearing a yarmulke.
Well, we just don't want to be.
The option.
We just don't want to be overly offensive. So, okay, so we got some news that I just want to start us off with straight away. That is absolutely fascinating. Google owns YouTube. A favorite podcast of some of us, specifically me in this group, is Bad Crypto Podcast, and their whole YouTube account was deleted by YouTube for some weird, random, nonsensical violation. And they're not the first people this has happened to, right? We've heard this happening a couple times.
Google
all
hates
throughout.
crypto.
And it certainly seems that way,
yes.
right? Because these groups that tend to have like these referral links, which we don't have in any of our stuff, by the way, Google.
Except all
YouTube.
those referral links.
We don't have a lot of them. So they just got banned. Like they got like 3 random strikes, and Bad Crypto had no explanation given to them in any way, shape, or form. So I'm a little bit confused and a little bit disheartened at this, like all of a sudden clamping down. Google's not the first one to do that. In fact, Facebook in January totally got rid of all cryptocurrency related advertisements on their site, basically due to like ICO complications and them being afraid of people scamming them. So what do we think? These are like some of the biggest corporations in America that are specifically starting to clamp down. So when you combine this with banks and people trying to regulate stuff, that seems to kind of put us in a bad light. I mean, we should be taken totally seriously, by the way, with all these hats on. Like,
I mean, it's Google becoming the man, right? Like, it used to be that Google was the newcomer that was taking over and was everybody's friend and was going to bring the revolution electronically. But now they are the e-government, right? They pretty much control and regulate.
Yeah.
They and Facebook own and regulate everything. And they don't want the next rebellious new group to grow, and seems to me they're just squashing them out, right?
Our tinfoil hats will only get larger and in greater number. So, okay. Do you guys have any thoughts? Are you a little nervous? Are you a little scared? Do you think it's going to be no problem?
Nervous. I feel like...
Because we've already lost?
Yeah, we've already lost the battle, so it's okay. I feel like crypto, is infringing on their profits in this case. And then 2, there's 1. And then the second would be possibly that they might be clearing house so that...
Google coin?
Yeah, they might be able to enter the market or something like that. Basically just removing any other competition and coming out with their own thing perhaps or something like that. But I do believe that, like I said before, big business is entering and planning to enter the crypto market. And so I think this might be a step towards that.
By the way, in lieu of what I said before, Google, if you come out with a coin, we will sell out to you.
Yeah, totally.
We will.
1,000%.
All the way.
No coin shilling, only if its merits are good, and then you have a bounty for us to analyze.
And then we can shill it.
Chris just learned that his mic needs to be turned on. All right, so James,
hey, I'm Chris. Welcome.
James, you got some stuff for us?
A couple of things. First of all, I guess back on the 7th, there was some kind of an attempt on hacking Binance.
Mm-hmm.
The tweet from the CEO of Binance said this: all funds are safe. There were irregularities in trading activity. Automatic alarms were triggered. Some accounts may have been compromised by phishing from before. We are still investigating. All funds are safe. Great.
Just in case you missed it.
Yeah, great beginning and end there. Just to double check. But I guess there was some kind. It was a failed hacking event. It created some FUD because nobody likes to hear hacking is happening. And then to sort of on top of that, I guess according to some groups, Binance is offering a $250,000 USD equivalent bounty to anyone who supplies information that leads to the legal arrest of the hackers involved in the attempted hacking incident.
Dude, that's pretty smart.
Yeah.
If we had any capacity to do that, would you be in on it? I would totally try and find that.
If I was smart enough.
Yeah. But we're all here wearing hats. So there's that. Right, so it was a bot, right, that had what was the coin? Do we remember that it pumped? It artificially pumped some massive coin.
Oh, Viacoin.
Yeah, Viacoin.
Yeah. It was a rogue bot that just made everybody sell all their stuff for basically Viacoin. Yeah.
That's pretty dope.
Which pumped to something like 100,000%.
Yeah, it was weird because I was holding a substantial amount of Viacoin last week, and I sold it on some automatic sell triggers that I had made.
Oh, man.
So I'm still about 150% in the red, so it doesn't really matter. But I'm just kidding. I don't own Viacoin. So, okay, anybody, you got some other crypto conspiracies that you're looking
Well,
at?
I mean, I was just pulling up the whole idea of the.
Yeah, we'll talk about that.
Okay.
No, go ahead. If you want to talk about it, go.
Okay, so Mark Jeffrey just tweeted.
Who is Mark Jeffrey, for somebody who may not know?
Just some random guy. It's just no, just kidding. But a big name in the crypto world too. At least he says IRS says crypto is property. SEC maybe says it's a security. FinCEN says it's money. They cannot legally all be true. The only thing that's 100% certain is that crypto defies classification. So it's more likely an entirely new species of thing. So I feel like segueing into
So do
sort
we
of the next
shoot
thing.
it and kill it and burn it with fire, or should we try and adapt?
But the thing about the U.S. government is its various branches don't have to work together and agree. Like, that's the thing about the U.S. government that people need to understand is it's not homogenous.
Right.
It doesn't, like, work and function principally the same across the
Sure.
board. So, yeah, you can have the IRS thinking cryptocurrency is A and then have the SEC thinking cryptocurrency is B.
Sure. Unless
and
they
they
collide
both can-
with each other. Unless they like clash.
The
in
regulatory
how,
stuff collides.
Yeah, I mean,
how
if it's got to be taken to courts between the two, sure, but that's not going to happen. They're not going to clash with each other on this.
Depends on how much money there could be made. Do you think that could ever get to a point where? If
I
the
mean, that
market
would be
passes
like a really
trade,
good pay-per-view, right?
IRS versus the SEC.
Sunday.
versus.
I think that's called C-SPAN,
That's so boring, man.
but that's what C-SPAN is, and that's what it would look like.
I just totally took all the fun
Yeah,
out of that
sorry.
pay-per-view. Totally killed that. So, okay, Google now is specifically thinking about banning people who use advertising, like AdWords, essentially to promote cryptocurrency-related businesses. And people who are doing that are reporting a drop in their ad views, and other users entirely are just posting out of suspicion that both their ads and their accounts might have either just been deleted completely or seeing a tremendous dip. So there was one user who wrote that her company just basically talks about blockchain technology, and it was actually terminated entirely due to quote-unquote misrepresentation with no chance of reinstatement. So it seems kind of like a weird kind of policy that they're sitting in, but there was a finance magnates or whatever, reported that a month ago a Canadian regulator actually openly asked Google to initiate just a Google AdWord ban in Canada. So it's interesting because they're kind of talking out of both sides of their mouth, right? Where they won't like openly ban it, they're as kind of requested, but they're still kind of doing this stuff a little sneakily. So this is the
Programming
part where it
against
gets a little conspiratorial.
Yeah, I mean, it is cutting down on their profits because, like, instead of.
But wouldn't it be driving more traffic to the site?
I mean, I don't know if having a way to pay you that's subverting YouTube would drive people specifically to your site.
Oh, right,
You know what I mean? You want more people to view your page.
But YouTube takes 50% of your AdSense.
They do, and so if you're now subverting them and getting
Flicks,
money elsewhere, they're not getting their funds.
Right.
So I mean,
No, but
that's one.
AdSense, though, particularly thrives on that multiplicity. See, the way AdSense works is AdSense doesn't run on, well, it can, but that's not its point. It doesn't run on Google websites. It runs on everything else. It's like it's banners and stuff like that on other websites. So the fact that there's competition is actually good for AdSense because then people actually use AdSense to put banners on their website.
So it sounds like a good time to start an ad company, right? A
Right.
competitor.
Using crypto.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What else
I
we
don't-
got in this
Honestly, I don't understand what Google's problem is. I mean, yeah, I understand the argument, it's cutting into their profits, but there's nothing stopping Google from basically taking over crypto if they wanted, really.
That's
Like,
what's
they
confusing to me. Any
Right.
one of these people could make a massive move into the market.
Yeah, and like offers like an alternative or an additive to what's already there. And like if Google dropped a big fat coin, it would draw so much attention.
Well, especially with how well they could just tailor it to the programs that we already use.
yeah,
Right.
Right.
their stuff.
Right.
It would be super easy. Also, if you're still listening and watching this late into the video, first, thank you. But be sure to follow us on all forms of social media. Our Twitter is GSW Crypto. You can find us on Telegram, too. We'll drop a link to that in the video description, where we are on Instagram as well, getting GSW Crypto there. So be sure to join that. We'd love to be able to connect deeper with our community.
Now, I did consider something. The blockchain, at least as it's designed now, is supposed to be decentralized. I
Sure.
guess that does cause a problem for Google. See, because Google's bread and butter is give everything away for free, but have all the information behind it.
Yeah, you control.
And sell that information for money. And if something's decentralized, I guess they don't have full control over the back end. which is what Google needs. Google needs full control of the back end to do its business.
But couldn't they just create their own blockchain? So that's going to go in the tagline of our video.
Are we still doing phrasing?
Google's full control of the back end allows them to do their business. But couldn't they just create their own blockchain alternative and solve that problem? Right,
but they are a blockchain alternative. That's what they are.
They are the problem.
They are a blockchain alternative now. The blockchain, the idea behind it is decentralization. It's de-Googling.
Yeah.
Right. They already are what is an alternative to the blockchain, which is a fully functioning centralized system.
Right.
So I guess now that I'm thinking through it, I see how that's a problem for Google actually.
So it sounds like we should be using DuckDuckGo.
No, we should be using Brave.
Brave browser.
Brave browser.
And Brave recommends DuckDuckGo for search engines.
Oh, do they? Okay,
Yeah,
good.
DuckDuckGo is the search engine.
For
Brave
Brave.
browser.
Yeah, all right,
is
dope.
the
Yeah,
browser.
you're right. You're right.
It's not as good as Google, unfortunately.
There.
Yeah.
But at least
For
it's
research
not
purposes.
It depends on what you're looking for, Joel.
Yeah.
There. It's probably just fine. All right, so anything else? What else we got here?
Yeah, just that Walmart has been there's been
love
constant
this. I
Toying
love
with
this.
their idea of a coin.
right. There's been
Yeah.
constant patents that people have been noticing that are
Yeah.
using blockchain technology.
By big companies too. That should be noticed. Like even the whole thing where basically Goldman Sachs purchasing Poloniex. Like these are big companies that are like behind the curtains, moving into
Because
the
it's
crypto world.
technically Circle, right?
Yeah, Goldman Sachs owning Circle purchasing Poloniex. But I mean, it's like
It's that.
What are those called?
Not quite direct.
Those company like derivatives or whatever, like where the holder company.
Subsidiary.
Oh yeah, subsidiary companies.
which is kind of a shady way
I don't know
of
if they're
doing things.
subsidiary or
dope.
they just own a
So
controlling
dope.
interest.
Remain hidden. But I mean, it's smart, obviously, to move in slowly and subtly, so no one.
So
knows
what
you're doing.
specifically is Walmart doing, James?
I mean, there's been a number of like patents that people have noticed. One of them right now that just was kind of put in front of me was the smart package is what it's called. It's a little bit unclear to me. So according to the application, blockchain will record the key addresses along the chain, such as seller private key address, a courier private key address, and a buyer private key address. I'm not entirely sure what this is serving for Walmart. This is where like the technology side kind of escapes me a bit. Like the news for me is that Walmart is trying to figure out where it fits into blockchain.
Yeah.
Like that's the news. And when you have somebody as big as Walmart, like that's what's going on, right? That's 2018. The theme of 2018 is going to be all the big established companies coming in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, basically more adoption.
Right.
You know, and we've seen a lot of big companies coming in, like Porsche. I think was looking at, maybe was it IOTA? I'm trying to remember, but I've been seeing, I think Bosch, like a lot of big companies. You know, coming
So
into the crypto
Fortune
space.
just had an article, Walmart and 9 other giants team up with IBM with blockchain plans. I mean, there are big companies, like you said, that are working on making their way in and have like taken steps to either scope out the market or plan out things or buy patents or kind of like slowly. Obviously, it's not a big move where boom, billions of dollars in the market, but
But we're seeing progress.
yeah, progress. You got to scope out the playing field before you jump in.
But so here's a question. So this is being raised by like kind of a little bit of an interview that was done with the CEO of PayPal.
Right.
And
By
summarizing.
the way, they filed like a year and a half ago for their patents there, and it's recently coming to news, which means they're like way ahead of the curve. 18 months ago would be massively.
Well, what happens is people like, there's a lot of patents out there, and people
once
start
they
combing
finally
through
find
them looking
Right,
for nuggets.
Right. But 18 months, man.
It takes a
so
while to
any
find them.
conversations that they're having now, they were discussing a year ago.
No, that's
in their
because
boardroom.
cryptocurrency basically replaces PayPal, right?
Well, with this,
Essentially.
that's we're talking about Walmart. We're mixing conversations now. But so the PayPal thing. So somebody was interviewing the CEO of PayPal. What do you think about cryptocurrency and all of that? And he has a perspective that I'm summarizing. Hopefully, I'm getting it right. That he's kind of dismissive of the coin and the exchange side, and he's more accepting of the technology it's establishing for the future. And that's sort of the question I want to raise: is that he's saying that he more or less he called the coin and exchange side of this to be just an experiment, whereas the blockchain technology, that's the future.
Yeah, it's brilliant.
Right, but if he's correct, that means all of we who want to believe and make money on the exchange side of things, that's not the future.
I'm
he's
going to
saying.
lose tens of dollars.
Yeah, no kidding. Yeah, he wrote regulations need to be, or he said regulations need to be sorted out and a whole number of other things. It's an experiment right now that is very unclear which direction it will go.
Right. But except for the long term, he thinks that the blockchain technology,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
got
That'll
legs.
be here forever.
for sure.
That'll be absolutely here.
But that doesn't help us, like the people who want to
Go to the moon.
I mean, it helps us.
Win moon, win Lambo.
It helps us passively, like indirectly, by making technology better and all of that. But as far as like wanting to make money
Yeah,
by buying and
crypto
selling,
people.
that's what's being dismissed here in this interview.
Well, I think the lesson we learn is to buy stocks that have or cryptos that have a use case.
But this is not financial advice, so be sure to do your own due diligence.
Oh, for sure.
Okay.
But something, don't just get currency ones though.
Yeah.
Ones that have a.
All right, so we will go ahead and wrap this up. Are there any last thoughts before we sign off? We're pretty good.
Watch out for aliens.
Yeah, be sure to watch out for aliens. Also, let us know what you think of what we're talking about in the comments below. We'd love to be able to hear from you guys. We've been having some excellent interaction on our videos, and we're super grateful for that. Again, you can find us on Telegram. You can find us on Instagram. You can find us on Twitter. We'd love to connect with you there. Thanks so much. Have a good one.